Hello everyone, hope you're well. In today's video, it's going to be all about volume. So you can just double tap somewhere on the price action, it'll maximize it, okay? If you've been following me for a while now, you could not have missed that I value volume at a very, very high level, right? I bring it up in almost every single post of mine with good reason. Volume is extremely important when validating a trend. If it's a downtrend, there's no volume, that's not a downtrend. If it's an uptrend, there's no volume, that is not an uptrend. So back in June, I made a post about a volume cheat sheet of mine, and it's something that I hold very close. So I'm going to reproduce that over here for you. So there you have it. That's my cheat sheet. I will be explaining to you so you can understand why it makes sense that these conditions will equal this interpretation. Alright, so let's get started on this cheat sheet, and we're going to go over every single point in high detail. Volume up, price down. First of all, where can we find examples of this? Pretty much any time that Bitcoin's been dropping since here. You can see all the drops were with high volume. So you can see, for example, here, volume up, price down. Why does this happen? Why is this a bearish signal? Because when volume is up and price is going down, that means that people are rushing to dump it. There's a lot of trading going on, but the vast majority are the sellers. So that's why there is a bearish interpretation for volume up, price down. Why is volume down, price up bearish? And where's an example of that? First of all, here's an example quite vividly here. So price up, volume down. Pretty clearly, right? And why is this bearish? That means that the price is going up, but there's not a lot of people interested in buying. When volume is dying out, when price is going up, then you can expect it to be a fake bull run, which is what's been happening here and here. I have no doubt that this will be one as well. When you have a bullish trend, it has to be with high volume. So obviously in here, you had price going up and an insane amount of volume go up too. This trend was validated through volume, okay? So why is high volume, high price bullish, which is only found here, right? On this parabolic curve up. And this is bullish because people are seeing that the stock or coin is going up and they're rushing in to buy. So there's high volume. Another reason that this is bullish is when you have high volume, that means you also have a lot of sellers in the market. And even with all the sellers, price still rallies. And lastly, you have volume down, price down, bullish. So why is that? That is because if the price is going down and there's not a lot of volume, that means that even though the price is going down, people don't seem to care. They do not care that the price is for the meantime low. They will not rush in to sell, therefore bullish. Let's look at a few examples here on a 4-hour chart of how you could have spotted a few bull traps, right? You have price going up and you have volume dying down, therefore bearish. And why again? I'll keep repeating this because this is very important. When price goes up and volume goes down, it's a bull trap. Why? Because price is indeed increasing and nobody's rushing in to buy. Nobody is even considering this an option to buy. So it is bearish. And there you go, another bull trap. This is another one on a smaller degree. I mean, these were all bull traps on a smaller degree. And you can see here, when you zoom in, that volume clearly decreased in all of them. Right? The volume only came back when it was to dump, therefore bearish. People ask me, what is the volume that you must have to validate a trend? And I'm afraid that you don't actually have a volume that you should have. The way you should look at it is not in terms of actual number volume in millions or billions. You should be looking at in comparison to the past. This is why I knew for 100% fact that this run was fake. The reason I knew that this was fake is because, yes, you had a brutal 4-hour candle. I believe that was a 1-hour candle, if I recall correctly. Yep, that was a 1-hour candle. So Yeah, you had a brutal 1 hour candle, and yes, the volume spiked to astronomical amounts, but that was only on that 1 hour candle. It then faded away while price kept going up. How did I know that this was fake? Because you see here, in here you had multiple days on a very high degree of volume. And in here, you had a 1 hour candle, and that's it. The volume proceeded to die out while price kept increasing. So this was prime for shorting. You could not have asked for a better setup. And if you had known that, which you do now, you would have caught it as well. Alright guys, so now let's learn how to calculate volume, because it's also very important. So say that a stock or coin on a given day had $1 million worth of volume. What this means is that stock or coin on a given day had $1 million worth of transactions. Okay? So say that hypothetically, we're talking about Bitcoin here. And let's say that Bitcoin is trading at $10,000. Okay? So then you have 50 people that bought 1 Bitcoin each. This in turn is $500,000 worth of volume. So then you have on the other side 50 people selling 1 Bitcoin each. That in turn amounts to 500,000 worth of volume, okay? And this in turn amounts to $1 million worth of volume, okay? So this is how volume is calculated, all right? All right guys, so I already finished recording the course, but I felt the need to come back to this video and add a very important detail. So as many of you know, I was shorting this from the top, right? And a lot of you rightfully commented and said, hey, this was back right here. And you're saying, hey, if volume is so important as you preach it to be, how come on BitMEX you have such a crazy amount of volume right now? How can you still think this is not the bull run we've been expecting for months? I got asked this so many times that I was compelled to come back here and add this section to this video. First off, let's jump over to BitMEX chart. That will be XBT to USD. And as we went over in the previous video, they have XBT to USD because they don't trade physical Bitcoin, they trade contracts. So as you can see, the volume is very different from any other exchange. So you can come here and you can go to Bitfinex and you see there's nothing in comparison, right? Now, BitMEX is not reliable in terms of volume. First off, and I won't get very much into it because otherwise this video would be more than 1 hour long, BitMEX is involved in countless activities related to wash trading. I won't go into it here, but a quick Google search will suffice to get the answer. So what is wash trading? I just explained to you how you calculate volume, right? And I used the example that if 50 people bought 1 Bitcoin and sold it, you have $1 million. Wash trading is when you have considerably more capital than that. So say you have 10 million or 20, 30 million dollars and you buy Bitcoin and you sell Bitcoin immediately one after the other. If you have $10 million, you can right now buy 1,571 Bitcoin. So then you buy this amount of Bitcoin and you sell it back, right? Just by doing that, you just created $20 million worth of volume. And you can simply do this over and over again. You can buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin and you can sell $10 million worth of Bitcoin thousands of times a day, okay? And that will create a brutal amount of volume. So BitMEX has by far the most volume out of all exchanges. I'm not saying that this volume is all wash trading. I'm just pointing to that fact first. The reason this volume is so high and at the same time is so not important for a bull run volume is a whole different story, okay? The reason this is not important is because the bull run will happen once new money enters the market. And new money will enter through just about anywhere but BitMEX. It will enter through Coinbase. The money that is here already has been here for a long time. Traders on BitMEX are usually on the more experienced side. People here are scalpers. They're trading in and out of positions for 30 seconds, hundreds of times a day if they have to. Therefore, this creates a tremendous amount of volume. Like I said, you need volume to validate a trend. However, you're not going to get that by examining volume on BitMEX. You get that by examining volume on Coinbase. Coinbase is where new money enters the market. Think about it from the perspective of an outside investor, okay? You've all been there. We've all been there. So when you were first starting out, you likely entered the market through Coinbase. And that's why when you come over here, you see all these gigantic green bars. Likely you belong to one of these, right? Coinbase is where you examine when the new money entered the market. Make sense? Okay, so say that hypothetically, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen at all, and you see something like this here. You see us going up here. And then you see volume doing something like this. This is very likely to be the bull run. So having said that, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I hope you've enjoyed the course. Don't skip on the last video because it's still a very, very important one, okay? So I'll see you there.